Right, guys, it's a beautiful morning. I wanted to make this video for all the drivers that just recently may have got their CDL or just started to get driving in the trucking business. So congratulations to you. Okay, some of the important things you need to know and understand at your particular stage of the game of driving. First of all, there's absolutely no rush in doing just about anything unless it's an emergency. What I mean is, just take your time, rethink everything, keep your mind open and your eyes like a radar. Try to have 360 radar around you. Watch out for things, everything, okay? Teach your mind to start paying attention to the little old lady crossing the street, you know, the little kid playing with the basketball on the street court or something, and a loose dog. You know, people getting in and out of their car, they just parked. You really have to do thinking for everybody to be safe. Later on, it's going to come more natural to you, but keep open-minded and your eyes open just as well, because if not, it'll catch you off guard and you won't know how to react. Like right now, there's cars coming in on the entrance ramp. Even though they need to yield for me, I quickly looked in my mirrors. I saw the left lane was open of the two lanes. I shifted over. I didn't sit there and fight with the car to make him slow down or speed up. You know, that's the beginning of road rages, stuff like that. You start driving angry. Now the car pulled away ahead of me. Now I'm shifting back, using my blinker, of course, to shift back into the right lane. I always try to be in the right or middle lane, only the left lane kind of like for passing. Keep that open. Let other people have a clear path to pass you. You know, you don't really want to be side by side with traffic. That's real annoying for me because it eliminates what I call outs. Outs meaning possibilities for yourself to use as a safety zone, you know, or a safety net. So, got a car coming up on my left right now. He's doing about 5 miles more an hour than me. That's cool. He's slowly passing me by. I'm noticing he left his gas cap open. You know, and every time there's a possibility that when they pass you, they don't think or respect you anymore and want to cut right in front. So I could back off the accelerator pedal. Excuse me, I got a little gas there. Back off the accelerator pedal a little bit. But getting back into taking your time. Remember, there's so much to learn. You're not going to learn it all in one day. And I got news for you. Did you go to a driving school to get your CDL? Even if you went into one of those company-sponsored driving courses, you know, at the end of the day they're not going to teach you everything you need to know. That's a fact. Come to grips and to terms with that. So there's going to be a lot of things you're going to wind up learning on the road when you come across that situation. It's going to make you mad because you don't know how to handle it. Nobody taught you. It wasn't explained to you. Or ask your trainer, your driver trainer, when you go on the road for your month or 2 months of training, depending what your company policy is going to be of the hiring company. Anyway, one example I can give to you about me would be like not moving the tandems to scale, but what to do, like how to know which to move the tandem forward or back, because on the trailer the wheels are able to move so you can balance your load so you're legal to roll. Okay, gross weight is normally 80,000 pounds unless you have special permits to allow you to exceed the road gross weight when driving on interstates and streets in any given state. So for me, I would spend in the beginning a lot of time because chances are I may have moved the wheel the wrong way, and then now you have to lock them in and you have to reweigh on a typical CAT scale, go inside, pay for it, get the ticket. Then you realize, oh, I made a mistake and stuff. So I'm not going to get too much into that now, but it's a good idea to make a video to help drivers know how to scale their weight. But the procedure to move your tandems typically is you got to be kind of like straight on a level ground if possible. That's not always the case. We understand that. But if you're on level ground and you have to set your brakes, your tractor and your trailer brakes, then you walk out to the back, and some trucks have an air, I'm not going to say hydraulic because that means there's liquid, hydraulic fluid involved, but it's air, so pneumatic, I would imagine, if that's the word. You have to go back there and pull the button out. On mine, that's how it is. On older trailers or trailers that don't have that, you may have a lever or you have to pull a rod out and lock it, okay? Sometimes on the manual stuff, even on the pneumatic one, the pins, there's 4 pins that lock the trailer axle in that position with the trailer. Sometimes 1 or 2 or all of them are a little bit stuck. So getting them out could be a little bit of issue. I've seen guys walking around with hammers and push those pins back in to loosen them up so you're able to slide them. Another way is once you pull the pin in the back, whether it's manual or the button, you release the truck brake. And now what I like to do typically is put it in reverse first, just nudge it a little bit. Jerk the trailer to the back, and if you listen, you may hear the pins pop, a little quick banging, clacking sound from the back, and then do the same thing going forward, just nudge a little bit. So then, if you want, the smart thing to do is stop, take it, put the brake on, put it back in neutral, of course, go back and check all 4 pins. You have 2 pins near the tires on both sides, so it's a total of 4 pins usually. Okay, so once you see they're pulled back in the release position, you're able to move your tandems. So a quick rule of thumb is wherever your issue is with the weight, let's say you have too much weight on your trailer, so you need to get weight off. So what you do is you go away from the problem. So if you have too much weight on your trailer, move the tandems away back to the back. We'll take weight off. Now, if your trailers are too light and you have room to put more weight on it because you want to try to balance your truck out, it's never going to be perfect. Sometimes it does. It's happened to me, and it puts a smile on my face. It means I did exactly what I needed to do. But if you need to put weight on, once your pins are released, like we just talked about, you back your truck up, moving the trailer on top of your tires more in the back. So you're gonna move your tires forward, and that'll put more weight on it. So the more you do that, the better off you're gonna get. And let me let you know, a lot of guys don't understand. That's not in safety, but for legality. So you don't start getting unnecessary DOT tickets, warnings, and fines. That's one of the top 5 things that you need to do. Maybe there's a top 10 by the time we're done with this conversation. But you need to do that because you're responsible. You get that ticket, not your company. So don't be lazy. Get in a habit. If you're watching this video before, that's really great. If you're watching this video while you're still training to get your CDL and you're with the school or you're with the hiring company that has their own school, see if you can get a little time in about learning how to move those tandems. Very, very important. Again, if not, you could be racking up fines, destroying your CDL record, and what you're going to get points on your CSA. And that's not good. You get too many of those, you're going to be still in the trucking business, but you're going to be watching other people driving trucks, not you. Nobody wants to hire a guy that's unsafe, tracks tickets, fines, and stuff. And it's only ultimately you're going to attract an accident. It could be a bad one. So you're your actually driving career may end sooner than you planned. Now, a lot of the drivers got the false belief that once they pass the CDL driving test and they are in possession of a CDL Class A, Class B, whatever class you're going for, they have the false sense of security thinking that they can get hired for any job now. Guys, let me tell you, that's not the case. Just because you have the CDL license now doesn't mean you're qualified or have the experience to go ahead and drive a local job home like the garbage truck, or possibly being a bus driver, a school bus driver, box truck, air brakes, any local gigs. They're not really going to hire you. And how the process normally works is the company can love you. You could be friends with the owner of the company. You could be related to the owner of that company. But how the hiring process works, and people don't want to listen to this, it all works through the insurance company. Okay, when you hire for a company, the insurance company is going to want to see your CDL and check your driving history. So if you've got a lot of moving violations, maybe a lot of no seat belts, running red lights, any kinds of stuff, speeding tickets, you ain't gonna get hired. And if you get hired, you're gonna be on such strict probationary period, you're not gonna like it. They may put you in a truck with cameras, they wanna watch you, and that kind of stuff. Trust me, that's no fun. The best thing you can do for yourself is, remember, unless you had tickets and violations prior with your regular auto driver's license, you're going to have a clean CDL. Keep it clean, guys. It's better for you. I look at the CDL as like a diploma. People go to college, after college, before college, all these training and they get a certificate, right? And they're proud of it. They put it on the wall. They put it in the picture frame. All that glamour, right? Same thing with your CDL. You should hold the utmost respect for your CDL. Understand it costs thousands of dollars to get that. You have driving tests involved, written tests, oral tests, a lot of training hours and stuff. And like I said, don't get the false sense of security. Once you get the driver's license, the CDL, that you're good to go. There's a lot more training ahead of you. Company I got my license was in Mesquite, Texas, a suburb just outside of Dallas, Texas. Okay, and they told us, and it made me think at the time. They said, now that you got your CDL, that was the day that I got mine and passed the driver's test. They said something that sounded funny to me. They said, now we're going to teach you how to drive a truck. So it made me think, but I got a CDL. The state of Texas, where I took my road test, says I'm qualified to drive a truck. That's for legal. So when you get pulled over, you're not driving without CDL, okay? Because you got a lot of training ahead of you. So again, open your ears and listen. Don't have the false sense of security that you're an experienced driver and let's go run and make the miles and do all these loads, go cross country and everything. You have a lot to learn. Once you finish your training with your driver trainer, that's an opportunity, not after, but during the time. Let me correct myself. During the time you're with your driver trainer, it's typically just you and your driver trainer, unless he's got a dog, cat, bird, or some animal. That's the opportunity. You're going to be sitting in the passenger seat while he's driving. That's the time where you want to pick his brain. Any questions you have. The time, keep in mind, there are no stupid questions. Just try to stay on topic and keep it towards trucking. Yeah, you're going to shoot the breeze a little bit, but you want to... You want to keep it in the trucking mindset because that's your chance to learn. So stuff that you don't know, don't feel embarrassed. Ask questions, okay? Ask questions, because that's your time to learn, okay? It's going to be one of the last times you're going to have an experienced guy on your truck unless you plan to drive as a team. Normally, it's going to be solo. So now all the decisions, whether it's right or wrong, is going to fall on you. So now what you can do is, I highly recommend staying in touch with your driver trainer. You're going to have a lot of questions, and since he works for that company, it's a go-to source. You're also going to have a driver manager. He's the guy that helps arrange loads, anything that you need time off, or you got to set up getting your next load or delivery, you're running late. He's the go-to, but guess what? He also works with maybe another 50 other drivers, so you're never going to have 100% of that man's or woman's time, depending who your driver manager is. So there's other departments at the trucking company you're at. You have safety, so if it's a question that relates to safety, you usually have a fuel department, so it has to do with fuel, truck stops, your car, that. Then you have payroll department, so you need to figure out what subject close matches who you need to talk to. You know, don't be talking about safety, about your time off. You need to talk about that with your driver manager. So some people get it right away, other people don't, because they kind of don't explain that. So sometimes when we're in a panicky state of mind, because remember, you're going to be out here by yourself and something might happen, all of a sudden that situation is important for you, and now you want to match it up with the right person it's important to them too. So be prepared when you do call. Have a Bluetooth on. In the beginning, maybe I don't recommend talking and driving, even though you're legal to do that. Don't do that. Focus your attention on driving. And now on a personal level, you want to try to keep your home life, your girlfriend, your wife, your mother-in-law, your brother, your sister, your side action, keep it as minimal distraction. When you're inside a truck stop and you're walking around, maybe that's the time to call them up. This way, if you hear something you don't like and you're getting loud or upset, at least you're not holding the steering wheel, driving an 80,000 up to 80,000 pound vehicle loaded. So that's common sense. Other things, okay, let's see. All right, you want to time manage. The sooner you practice this, the better off you're going to get. So you want to manage your time, okay? Because if not, you can run late, not because of your driving, but
1 mile,
all of a sudden
right
you start your day and you start at your 14-hour clock, and then somehow, you get a little coffee spill on you or something. You decide, hey, I want to change, I want to shower and all this. To take a shower, it normally takes about 2 hours, okay? And what I'm talking about is parking, getting your shit together, waiting on line, because sometimes there's a line, and then taking your shower and getting out and all that. So you got to figure at least 2 hours, sometimes even more. So I stay away from trying to take showers during the day while I'm under a load driving. It just puts more pressure on you. Now, if you're ahead of time and you're doing really good, you have one or two options. You can get in touch with your driver manager and tell him, hey, I'm going to be over there early. Sometimes they have a drop yard, or they have another driver nearby that can't really drive and can finish your load, and you can take their load. So a lot of options. You got to keep your mind open and paying attention. Like, I'm multitasking right now, so I'm paying attention with a little bumper-to-bumper traffic, a little give and go around here. So my eyes are constantly scanning and looking, even though my mouth is flapping. Okay, so You get better at it later on. You'll learn how to multitask. So in the beginning, don't push the boundaries. Don't push the limits. Don't force yourself to multitask because something is going to sacrifice. And when you're driving up to 80,000 pounds, it could be some lives at stake. So that's another aspect. Let's see. Okay, making sure you get enough rest. Okay, in the beginning, don't really try to maximize up to your 11 hours of driving. Take it easy. Take it easy. Try to see if they'll give you easier loads with open appointments, maybe going to dropping hooks. You know, that's really, really good if you're able to do that. That will take a lot of pressure off you because you want to get yourself ready to drive when you get up. You have to probably plan, look at the maps to make sure you're going on routes that are legal for trucks and not just regular cars. So get in a little bit of a routine. You know, one nice routine to get into is, if you can, every time you get fuel, try to clean your windows. It doesn't have to be every single time, maybe every other trip, but try to clean your windows 2 to 3 times a week, and that'll be good. Now, the inside windows, remember, you're probably just getting into a new truck. You don't know what was in that truck. Try to take a few minutes, clean those windows real good, because some of these drivers smoke and that builds up on the windshield. And during the daytime it may look fine, but at nighttime you're going to have vision issues seeing out of the windshield. Clean your mirrors, clean your windows from the inside and out. Clean your dashboard so you can see everything on it pretty clear. Clean the buttons. They have Windex. You could go to the Dollar Tree, dollar store, get a can of Windex, spray it up, grab some rags or paper towels so you're really good. By the way, another tip is make sure you have both of these additional tissue boxes. I buy them 4 at a time at Walmart, buy the stack, $6, $7, because you never know when you're going to be sneezing, have a runny nose, need tissues, you know. Another thing is bring toilet paper. Buy a stack of toilet papers, maybe a 2-pack, 1-pack, 4-pack. Have it with you, because trust me, you're gonna need to go one time at the worst possible time. Be prepared. I was a Boy Scout, and that was our motto. You know, be prepared. Okay. So, what was that? Be prepared. Anyway, you know, you're not going to be ready for every situation, but you could be a little bit better prepared. If it looks cloudy outside, what do you do normally at home? If you have an umbrella, you bring an umbrella. Who wants to drag an umbrella around, right? But if you have it and you need it, it's there. But a lot of times it's better to have something and not need it than need it and not have it. Think about that real quick, okay? That's an important one for life. So you got tissues, you got toilet papers, you're good. What else? Now, if you're a sleeper, okay, a lot of people run late because of this alone. They can't wake up, okay? They get confused with all the time zones. Remember, if you're from the East Coast, it's 3 hours ahead there, okay? And if you're going to Cali, it's 3 hours late. Now, typically, if you're taking the load from the east to the west, you're in good. You actually pick up 3 hours. So if it's 8 o'clock appointment and you're going to the West Coast, that's kind of 11 o'clock East Coast time. So your body is going to be more apt and you're okay. Now, I don't like using alarms, okay, because I wake up through the middle of the night, I got to use the bathroom and stuff, so I keep my mind almost like in sleep mode, where I could easily wake up if I need to, all right? So I don't use alarms. I typically on a pattern, so I know I may wake up a couple times through the night to use the bathroom, so I'll check the time, remind myself what time my 10-hour break is completed so I can start driving and when my appointment is. Keep that in mind. Now, a lot of times, if you want to be proactive and you think you're going to be there early, you could call that shipper receiver. You could find out if it's a strict appointment or is it first come, first serve. FCFS, first come, first serve. You may see that in the paperwork. That means is you don't actually have an appointment, but you need to be there within those hours. Kind of usually like banker's hours. So those type of loads are pretty easy. Now, you could get in and out quicker, or you can be in and out later. Those type of loads, you want to try to get there early because you got other drivers that are going to try to get unloaded earlier. It gives you more time to go ahead and get your next load. So the earlier you can get there, sometimes you can drive and make it all the way to that receiver. Now the problem may be they may not allow you to park overnight there. That's when you pick up the phone, you call. You have to be a proactive driver. Don't dump everything on your driver manager because, yeah, they're supposed to help you with that stuff, but give them a break. Don't be that driver that's constantly calling your DM, asking all kinds of ludicrous questions that you could be answering yourself. Don't be afraid to do the legwork, okay? Look, you got Google. When you stop, Google that shipper receiver. Hey, what time are your shipping or receiving hours? How late can I get loaded? Is it an appointment? Because, guys, you're not going to like this, but sometimes they send you the wrong information. Now you want to know, what information can they give you wrong? They may give you the wrong name of the shipper, okay? They may give you the wrong address. They may say street and it's avenue, and it could be clear across the town. It could be a half an hour mistake. But guess whose fault it is? Because it's always the driver's fault. So, again, you have to be proactive and eliminate these things from happening. Try to start your day a half an hour earlier. That gives you, in case you bump into a little traffic. I've been to shippers or receivers and be less than 10 miles away and hit 45 minutes worth of traffic, okay? Now, you want to get a good GPS, you want to invest in it. Some of these now does Wi-Fi, play music, pictures, all that unnecessary bullshit. Now, some of them have cameras, it'd be okay, but I don't want to rely on my GPS to be recording camera. If it's important to you, which it should be, invest, unless your company already pays for it and has it pre-installed, you have a camera there. Because you got some people, they always trying to do insurance scans, and when they see a big truck, they think big money and they got big eyes, and they're on that phone searching for that big time truck suing lawyer, okay? So you want to stay away from that, okay? So get yourself a good GPS, truck GPS. A Garmin, I recommend. There's a few other ones out there. Garmin's what I use. I love using the lifetime updates. It's good, but what they don't tell you, there's an internal memory that's only so big, so there's only so many times you can do it, and you're going to run out of space. But you have two options. Sometimes you can delete it and then format it and just get the latest update. Or what I do is you look for, this is the questions you got to ask when you buy the GPS. Does it have lifetime free updates? Very important. That needs to be checked. Second thing, does it allow you to add a memory card to expand the memory? My GPS is not brand new, but it functions like it does. Now, a couple of things I needed to do. Obviously, I needed to update the software, and I ran out of space. So mine had a slot for a memory card to expand it. So I went and I think I got a 64 gig or something. Now, what they did to me on this particular Garmin, they maximized it to, I think, only a 32 gig. So it bought me time, so I'm good, but I may need to, in the future, consider getting another GPS with a more memory than that. But for now, it's working. I've had to change the cord a couple times, so you want to get a good long enough cord, and you can run it so you're not always pulling on it and whatnot. My cigarette lighter turns the power off when the key's off, so I don't have to keep plugging and unplugging that sucker, because that's wear and tear in the car. Yanking on the cord, you don't want to do that shit. Take care of your equipment, man. This stuff ain't cheap, so it'll last longer. Now, here's an update that I had to do to the GPS, but it was a hardware. Okay, there's an internal battery, kind of like a watch battery, or the type of batteries in your car fob remotes, and that has a life. So what that holds, that keeps memory on your GPS, the time, your stops, your favorites, and all that. So when that battery dies, okay, what's going to happen is you're going to have to keep power on. You're going to have to keep it plugged in, or your GPS is going to turn off. So when you start seeing battery low a few times, not charged, and you've been having it plugged in, that's a key sign that your battery's going. It's going to give you a nightmare of problems. And if you wait too long, when that battery dies, there's not going to be enough power to turn it on sometimes. Or change settings. So what I did, I looked up on YouTube and I saw that the battery is actually replaceable on my particular Garmin. So I went on Amazon and I ordered a kit for about $15, $20. They had a video and instructions. It was a little bit scary because you're opening up your Garmin or your GPS, which is really, really expensive, so you kind of start to feel like a brain surgeon, and you want to be real, real careful. So if you're up to it's good. If not, you never know. Maybe a CD shop. You don't see too many, but once in a while you see guys that mess with them. Okay, and the trick here is sometimes you can buy a GPS used that somebody thinks it's broken, it's not working, or it's giving them problems. And sometimes it could be as simple as replacing that battery, doing an update, adding that external memory card to expand the memory. Okay, you plug it in. Or, check this out, you're not going to believe this. Changing the cord, the power cord, okay? Now, some of the power cords, they look the same, and they may be used for data. So when you're plugging it in, it may not properly power up your GPS. So sometimes an easy fix for that is buy original OME cables for your cell phone, for your GPS, and whatever else you use. So if you stick with it, it costs a little bit more, but it's going to work. But when it comes to GPS, sometimes the manufacturer realizes there's a demand for this product, but if they sell that small product $10, $20, a lot of them do, chances of you buying a new GPS upcoming, so they think, well, let's make it outdated. Let's change the cable so it can't work on an old one. And that's what that happens, Apple was a little notorious for that, and they force you to update equipment, charges and that kind of stuff. That's foul. I don't like that. To me, it's earn my business for long term. If you make something that a good product, it works, you stand behind it, and it's not disposable like a plastic shaving razor. That's what some of these manufacturers like to do. Then you have the very opposite extreme. What they do is they make the thing so freaking fancy. It's got a thermometer, a video camera, digital pictures, memory slot, Bluetooth, play a little bit more music. It's got Wi-Fi. Oh, it's got all these other apps. It's going to show you how to get fuel. It's going to tell you about the traffic. A lot of times those things are subscription, or you're paying so much more for that GPS that it's not worth it, okay? It sounds exciting. It's like buying a convertible car with all the bells and whistles, power seats and stuff. Yeah, but you have to realize what's important for you. You need a GPS to get the job done. You don't need it super fancy. I use minimal features on my GPS. I use the trip setter, so every day I reset it so I know in the morning that I'm starting from zero, and it has a double odometer. I use like a lifetime one, or you can set that when you got your fuel last or your PM oil change, so you know how many miles you've done on it, so it helps you evaluate if you forgot the date of your last oil change. And sometimes I'll use it for local stuff, but mostly I'll use Google Maps to find restaurants and that kind of stuff nearby, or fuel stops. But one thing I do is I use Google Maps in conjunction with using my Garmin GPS, or any GPS in general. So basically, you want to find what Google is good for is kind of for the latest addresses. So we go sometimes to shippers and receivers. They just built a new building. Heck, they might have built a whole complex, industrial park, and your GPS that's doesn't get normal updates unless you're doing what you need to be doing, and it's frustrating. It may not have that road. You may see quite often, and it's hilarious, is you're going somewhere and it looks like you're going through a field because there's no road, or it tries to reroute you because it doesn't understand there is a new road there. So by using Google, it's not always perfect. So what you want to do is, it's like having two pictures, and you want to kind of bring them together so they overlap, so you can get the best information. Okay, sometimes, again, like I told you earlier, the information you're given to by the load information from your company, or your dispatch or the broker, it's not accurate. So what I like to do is, when I get a load and I take those few extra minutes, I Google the company's name and in the city and try to find. A lot of times the company's so big in that city that they have a couple locations, and you want to make sure you're going not to the headquarters office. They're not going to help you load your load into your trailer. So you have to do that. And another mistake some people make is, when they're looking at the bills, they see an address, the first address they see, they pop it in there. But you want to be very, very careful. Consignee is the person that's going to receive. So the consignee is the receiver. Okay, now you're going to see some words of shipper. That's where you picked up. Okay, now you're going to see some other words there, and it may say billed to, or so don't be putting the bill to, because that might be where their office is at, and it could be the same town but different address, or states away. So you want to not be on the phone when you're getting your bills, and you're going to compare it to the information that your company sent you about the load information. So you want to check everything off, and you're good to go. I have a worksheet that I use. To be honest with you, I've been a little slacking on it, so maybe I'll make a video about that, and you're welcome to copy it, because copying is the best form of flattery, but if it could help you, because all the important information about that load is on one sheet, and I use a sheet label, so I have to do a little manual work, and that's what makes it a little tedious. But what I do is I keep that sheet with my bills, and what I do is I put them in a Ziploc bag and keep everything together. And the reason you put in a Ziploc bag is if you have it on the dash of your truck and either the wind comes and blows it, the plastic has a little bit more weight to it, and it stops it from getting wet. If you spill coffee, it's raining, it slips in the mud, you know that, or you got greasy hands, you can still see through the paperwork without messing up those bills, because those bills are like a big IOU. That's how you're eventually going to get paid. So treat that bill like money. You don't want to lose that bill. You have a hard time getting another copy. Man, you don't want to go down that path. So protect your bills. I'm going to do a video all about that, show you, so keep an eye for it. And there's going to be a lot of tips there. So basically you checked your bills, you just got loaded. Make sure your seal is on that trailer. Before you put your seal, make sure all the doors, your double doors, is complete. Or if you have rolling door or whatever you got, make sure they are secured properly, because we have those handles that overlap, they double lock the doors. Take a look, make sure the top and bottom are secured, lock everything down, put your seal on. Now, what I use is I always put a lock on top if I can get it through the seal. Sometimes the type of seals that they use is like a bolt, and it will not leave you any space for a lock. But sometimes you have another type of a lock available, or you could put it on there just to have it locked. Okay. So another important thing is whether my trailer is empty or loaded, during my transport of that load, I always have a lock. I don't take the lock off till I reach that receiver or when I'm at that shipper, because you're saying to yourself, well, if you're empty, why worry about putting a lock, that extra work and all that? You know, you got your trolls out there. You know who you, yeah, you were about to troll. Anyway, the reason is you may be at a stoplight or you may be at a truck stop, and we go to some shady ones now. You know, Ken, you'll know the shady ones. When you get there, you start having that little feeling like, oh shit, I may have to pay attention here, you know, and you may have to pay attention how you park your truck and all that kind of stuff. And it may be just as important some places, if you're able to park the truck backwards. This way, you're protecting the front of your truck if it's a tight parking spot at that truck stop, and you leave your trailer vulnerable. But that could be a lot less damage, and it won't put you out of service. You can always get another trailer or get the trailer repaired. But when it comes to the truck, that gets expensive, and then you have to be in a hotel and stuff. But anyway, so when they're at a shady truck stop, you have some people that they go roaming around. It can even happen at a rest area, okay? You got cars, four-wheeler there, and a guy sitting in the car wondering how he's going to make his next rent payment. And here you just parked in front of him, and you raised the curiosity of that cat. It's mine. Man, I wonder what he's hauling. Is it anything good? And if you're refrigerated, you know it's some type of food, guy might be hungry. Might even be homeless. You might have stumbled on a homeless encampment at that rest area. You never know. Okay, so having that lock on, the professional thief who wants what you have in that trailer more than you, he's going to figure out a way to get in there. You only can slow it down and make it more difficult. That's why sometimes if I'm near a wall, I'll back up to that wall so nobody can get to that door. Little added layers of protection. Okay, very important. It cuts down on OS&Ds, overages, shortage, and damage. Shortage meaning somebody just five-finger discounted. I had a buddy of mine that it happened to in Dallas. There was no truck parking available at the truck stop, so he parked on the street, went to bed and stuff like that, and they broke into his trailer. Now, I can't remember if he had a lock or and they broke the lock, but never take for granted, man. When you start getting complacent, that's when bad things can start to happen. They may be small bad things, but we know a lot of small bad things added together equal one big bad thing, and could be expensive and could cost you your job, could ruin your whole day. Okay, so let's prevent that from happening. Take charge, be in control, because you are the captain of your ship. Okay, so don't let other people drive your truck. And what I mean is, they're blowing their horn, yelling road rage, all this and stuff, speed up, whatever. You can always pull over. Every once in a while, what I like to do, if I don't like the flow of traffic around me, I'll get off the next exit ramp as long as it's easy on and off. Get off and then get back on. Those people are ahead of you. The easiest way to lose people is let up the accelerator pedal. So you slow down just a couple miles per hour. They're not going to want to hang with you unless they're retired life and it's Sunday. Check your clock, and they're a Sunday driver, and they just left church. And people ain't rushing for nothing, So that's what you need to do. You may be on a country road and there's a school bus in front of you. Man, what are you going to do? You can't do nothing. Don't get frustrated. Don't try passing them, because they're used to that. And they'll jot down your plate number. And a lot of times now, you have an undercover cop following them around in a car, and he's just waiting for somebody to act a fool. Okay, that's an expensive ticket, going to ruin your day, and tickets like that may cost you your job. Okay, so when in doubt, just play it safe, play it cool. If you're running that late, drivers will tell you should have got up earlier. So try to not make too many stops unless you have the time to. Now, there's some days I'm most efficient by making a lot of stops. Now you're saying, well, you just said don't make a lot of stops. But what my stops are is, you want to be careful, because there's a whole nother topic about parking at the fuel island. But if you got to use the bathroom, try to park in a head spot. So if you have a clear pull through a fuel island and you're not getting fuel or cleaning your windows, guys, don't park there. Be courtesy. That's a big, huge problem in the trucking industry. Don't block the fuel island. You can be in and out. Maybe you want to get yourself that big Powerball ticket, that Mega Millions, and you want to be that next truck driver that just said, truck driver just won, retires or buys a whole fleet of trucks, and you're going to be the next trucking company. Okay, so if you're getting a drink, don't be that guy that's ordering a sandwich at Subway, that's going to sit down and eat it and block the food. I did a video on it. There was 2 record tow truck drivers. They were hauling trailers, and they were blocking the fuel island. They went on in, ordered sandwich. They had their 30-minute break, sat there, ate everything like carefree, blocking two fuel island pumps. Sad. But, sometimes you say something, you got to get ready for that rumble in Manila, Rumble in the jungle. Thriller in Manila. So be careful, because how you may say things, it may frustrate the shit out of you, and you're right to feel that way. It's when you're telling somebody else how to run their shit, and you may want to just suggest it in the nicest possible way, but guess what? He may be having a hard day, or she, and they're going to walk all up over your ass, bro, and start shit. So don't try to cash a check. Write a check that your ass can't cash, okay? So avoid those, even simple as sucking your teeth, nodding your head, shaking your head, is all negative body language that could be interpreted into fighting words, okay? Don't put yourself in that position unless those are the checks your ass can cash, okay? So just, if you see that happening at the truck stop, call the truck stop up. If you're in a truck outside in the parking lot, hey, you got ABC Trucking, he's been blocking the fuel island, da-da-da, da-da-da. And they'll get on the mic and tell. So sometimes people getting blasted on mic is enough embarrassment to realize that they messed up. But then again, you have that percentage, they don't give a front door. They don't give a front door. So just shut the front door on that one. Okay? Don't let it ruin your day, okay? Be careful around truck stops as we're talking, even walking. You have truckers coming in there flying, man. To me, I'm a firm believer that there should be speed bumps in the truck stop. That's the only way to force these guys to slow down. At least pay attention to slow down. I don't know why there is. It should be at the entrances. Let guys know, and maybe before you get to the few islands, so this way you're aware. I seen a guy. Oh my God. His truck fell off a cliff, but he was able to finally stop it. He left the truck in neutral at the fuel island, and there was a little bit of an incline, and there was a mini speed bump or went ditching the road, and it rolled right past that and fell off. It was a big fiasco, man. It looked like ice road truckers with all the tow trucks and stuff lift his ass back on level ground. So you learn. Look, they say a fool can learn from his own mistakes. Like you see a pot on the stove, and you're like, oh, let me touch it. Let me see how hot it is. You touch, ow! And you burn your hand. So next time, you're going to know. That's what I mean by a fool can learn from his own mistakes. You're going to know and respect that next time. But here's the kicker. It takes a wise man to learn from another's mistake. So if somebody else was watching me make that mistake, they'll learn and say, oh shit, I don't need to touch that pot to figure out that shit was hot. Okay? So try to be the wise man. So you can learn so much from a dummy. Okay? He may not know a lot, but he sure knows a lot of screw-ups. So try to learn from him. So it's always good to listen. Sometimes it takes a lot of patience, but there's a lot to learn out there. Keep your mind open. Learn, look, listen. Sometimes I listen to the Trucker Channel on Sirius Satellite. That's a good subscription. You got to pay for it. You can have it on your phone. It's really good. You have a lot of commercial-free music. Keeps it entertaining. Heck, I'm a big fan, and don't hold it against me now. Howard Stern in the house. I love listening to him. I love listening to ESPN. So if you can't watch the game, you can hear the game. So that's cool. Keep you rolling with entertainment. A lot of news channels. The weathers, I don't know if they got a dedicated weather channel. I think they used to, and they got rid of it. I don't know why, because it's worth it. That's where your other subscriptions on your cell phone carrier. Maybe you have a YouTube TV or Sling TV, or sometimes your cable company at home allow you to have an app that you can download on your phone, and they don't even charge you. So if you're tight with somebody who's paying cable bill, because let's face it, we as truck drivers, most of us live in our truck. So what I do is I put all my shit in storage. I got a nice $36 a month storage bill, and I'm 7 months paid ahead, But we do have a mailing address. We have the license on our license, the address. You want to keep that up to date. So if your address is no longer good, you better update it, because that's how tickets come to your house, even maybe parking tickets. So you want to keep that up to date. Strong, huge recommendation is get yourself a P.O. box. Now, here's the thing what people don't like. Get your own personal one. Unless you're married, or your kids live with you, or your significant other is, don't share it. And the reason why is when they go to check the mail, they may take something that may be yours, or they may take something that they may later think it's junk mail or spam, or they pick it up for you and lose it. They forgot where they put it. They had it in the car sun visor, and when they opened the sun visor, they had the convertible top down and it flew down. Don't have that happen. Eliminate the possibility of bad things happening. the more planning and thinking, the more elimination. It's not cheap, it's just thinking and a little bit cost sometimes. So I have my P.O. box, I haven't checked in 5 months. Now you're saying, God damn, 5 months? Yeah, 5 months, but here, my P.O. box is normally post office P.O. box. What they do is when your mail fills up, they stop putting mail in your box and they put it to the side and they hold it for you. They'll put a big rubber band and it'll look like a football. They might even pass it to you. Just make sure your feet are in bounds when you catch it. Anyway, your mail is safe there. So what I like to do, here's another tip, is let's say I'm on the road here a lot and we're using our ATM bank cards, right? So now your card may be a little worn out, maybe giving you issue, maybe the number's worn out, maybe it's not working right. Great time to call the bank and say, hey, can you send me a new card? Typically what they'll do, as long as your card's security was not compromised, when nobody hacked and made a duplicate card, you know, you got those scams going around. You want to be careful with them. What they call it, skimmers, be careful. But let's say everything's on the up and up and good. What you do is you call your bank and you give them about 2 weeks. So they'll send it to you like 5 to 7 or 10 business days. But you call them when you know you're just about going to be picking up your load going home, or 1 or 2 loads. Since I do a lot of coast to coast, I live in the Tampa market and I'm in Cali, I could go ahead and call, or on my trip going out to Cali, which will take a few days, and then obviously the return trip back to Florida, if I don't do a 34 in between, it's going to be sufficient time. This way, you're not sitting and waiting when you need it, okay? Because when you need it, it's usually too late, and it's a huge inconvenience. Now your company wants you to go pick up a load, and they say, what's the matter? You already been home 4 or 5 days. We need you, and now you got to tell them that. Stupid planning, inadequate planning on your part. So a little thought process goes a long way. Preventative, just like preventative maintenance, okay? Anyway, you call them, they send it to you. By the time you get home, the shit's sitting there waiting. And now you don't have to ask people, hey, did you see my new bank card? Or call people ahead of time, letting them know you got an ATM credit card coming in the mail. Not smart. This way, bump the gun. Something I don't do too much, but you bump the gun. Loose lips sink ships. So that's what you want to do, okay? This way, you don't want people knowing your business. Now, it's kind of common for truck drivers to do a little chit-chat, you know, maybe send a little, talk about a little good news that just happened and stuff, you know, with other drivers, you're going home and stuff. But as far as people and friends and stuff, you know, people that you think are your friend and your go-to, and you see your bro and your bro and your bro, and you'll do anything for him, it may not be mutual, especially after you're on the road a little while and now you ain't talking as much, you ain't hanging out, and he keeps hearing on the phone how everything going so good for you, but not them. So that's when there's an opportunity for like a little jealous, a little jelly, a little envious to build up. So sometimes coming on a road, you actually lose friends, or you have to declassify them. They were my A1 bro, now they're B, you know? So just keep that in mind, okay? Because when you're making paper and stuff, everybody's, hey, my car insurance, my note on my car payment, and they're gonna hit you up for cash. There's some women, and that's what they do. I've been down that road, but I've helped people that have kids and stuff. And I remember growing up as a kid, there was a lot of strangers or friends of the family that helped out, and I remember that. So when I get a chance to do that, I do. Now, I don't like getting taken advantage of, and there's those people out there. But when you can help somebody that was in your position in the past and somebody helped you, guys, it's like rule 101, man. You got to do something to help. Even if it's just talking to them and giving them advice on how you had a solution, the solution you found for your situation. It'll feel more comforting. maybe even a hug, bro, can help out. Giving your number, a call and whatnot. You might not want to exchange the Benjamins to help the solution, because a lot of people, they use it as a crutch. They have no shame in the game of always telling everybody their financial situation. There's a financial vampire. They're going to sink their teeth into your fat wallet. They're going to try to get into your Bitcoin. Okay, watch out for them. Okay, I'm making fun of it, but you have those people out there. Sometimes it's better to make people think you're not doing as good. Here you go. Well, I know you got paid, man. You got them. Oh, no, they shortchanged me. They screwed up my check, man. So I ain't going to get it to next year, so I can't help you out. There you go, check box. Sometimes you got to reach for the pre-bullshit, okay? The pre-bullshit story. Protect yourself, okay? Because they're going to make you feel guilty, man. Man, you just got paid, man. I know this, that. So I'm really fortunate. I work with a guy that I used to work with before, and we have a good understanding. Don't get me wrong, he gets on my nerves. Okay? But we tolerate each other. Working together, we get the job done. So it's almost like a marriage or a relationship with somebody that you do a lot of arguing. You never know what's going to happen, but then you can have 2-3 weeks of great. So what I try to do is I try to keep them off the phone. Better like that, text your message. Now here is, make sure you complete the whole story. Use complete sentences. Don't abbreviate. Pull over, stop, and put the whole story. Read it, so when they read it, there is no confusion. Okay? Get a little hot now. So eliminate the need for follow-up questions. Where are you at? When did this happen? What did you do? What you gonna do? So put in, hey, I just found out it just happened today, 5 minutes ago. You answered that question without him needing to ask it, or her, unless they're not paying attention. Try to keep it short. I tend to keep it longer because I love to have details where a lot of times people, before they react, they'll reread your message, so they may have missed a key information. When they reread it, they'll catch it, okay? So try not to use too many adjectives, adverbs, curse words, and all that kind of stuff. Get your point across, okay? Sometimes I like to start off with, I'll send in a message and say, hey, are you busy? Do you got a minute? Right? And wait to see how long it takes for them to read that or respond back. Now, number one, you just accomplished. You got their attention. Now, if they're in a bad location or they drive, whatever, they may tell you that, so you're aware of their situation. Because remember, chances are you're giving bad news, shocking news that they want to hear. Again, when you have good news, you should want to share that too. So whenever you get a message, they don't know what to expect. They're hoping for good news. So you send a message, you let them know what it's up, give them detail where you are, if you're driving or you're still on your break, you're eating now, so now's a good time for them to call you so you can handle it. You got a paper and pen to write. So give a good description. Take a few more minutes to finalize that email or text message to make it complete, okay? And if it has anything to do with the load, put again your shipper, where you're heading, put the miles you are from them, so now they have an idea, and let them know what your ETA is. That'll work out for you too. I'm gonna sip here. So you're curious what I'm drinking? Okay, well, I'm reusing one of my Wendy's plastic cups. I love, So we got 5-0 in the middle on a plain brown wrapper. So let's behave. They're a county mountie, so they're allowed to come on a highway in certain states to give you a speeding ticket. So whenever they need to make money in their budget, you'll see them, and you ain't talking yourself out of that ticket, and don't argue with them and that kind of stuff. You know, so just be careful with that. And always try to flow with traffic. If you're going the same speed as traffic, you know, you don't stand out. Now, if you got a truck with a fucked up color, or you got a fender hanging on with just some duct tape, you got mismatched bodywork panels, you got graffiti, you know, you're gonna have a problem. Did he sneak up behind me? Shit, he did. He's passing me by. Man, that sucker was quick. Is that the same guy? Damn it. So he's looking to pull somebody over. He's hauling ass. Okay? Hauling ass. So, again, communication is key. Okay? You want to stay in touch with your driver manager. My driver manager is my boss, so I only really got one guy to talk to outside of. I make my boss's life so easy that I talk to the broker. He gives me the information, so when I have an issue, I'll reach out, keep everybody in the loop so everybody knows what's going on. Like yesterday, I had to call the receiver and let him know, hey, I'm not going to make my 8 o'clock appointment today. So I explained the situation. My situation was the highway was shut down. I can't do nothing. It ain't my fault, you know, but I relayed that. So, Mr. Receiver, who am I speaking to? Remember the name. You want to document it later. I spoke to a Josh, B as in boy, okay? Josh, what department? Are you working in the receiving or shipping department? So now I know I'm talking to the right guy. So then I confirm the address. So it's the right location and the right delivery location. Okay, the paperwork had 16 and I think it was 20. Not a big diff, but it confirmed it. So he's able to confirm it for me. Because sometimes you can be in certain complexes and just 2 numbers off is another block or another industrial park. Anyway, let him know I'm going to be late. What time can I offload or get unloaded? He told me if I get there before 5, I should be okay. Right now it's cutting really, really close, so I kind of been pedaled to the metal a little bit. So I'm going to try to make no stops. Yesterday I did fuel up, so I should have enough fuel to get me there. And I may have to body sacrifice. And there's my breakfast. Now, I like to consider myself an overachiever driver. So I like to have the mentality of not just, hey, I'm just a driver, it's not my job. No, that I don't know. That's not me. That's your job. And, you know, I don't like to push the blame game. I'm a team player. I try to call my own shots. So I'm kind of like a solo/team player. I try to handle everything I can. But there's instances when you're going to need assistance from the broker, your DM, somebody else from your company's department, you know, maybe at the truck stop, maybe even at the shipper receiver, or sometimes another truck driver. You may have an issue and you could use his muscle, okay, or the second hand. So it's good to have good exercise and practice communication skills. Hey, how you doing today? Good? Hey, brother, I want to ask you a favor. You know, driver, you know, can I borrow your hands? Or I got a problem. Can I ask your advice? You might already know the problem, but that's a way to throw the bait out and then you're reeling them in. So now you get them. So now you know if the guy says, no, I'm busy, I'm just, don't push it. That driver is typically not a helper. he's busy and he's focused, and it's your problem, not his. So they walk around with that mentality of don't make your problem my problem. Now, I don't roll like that, but there's other people that do, okay? So, man. So, you want to try to be helpful and courtesy and that kind of stuff. But I hope you guys are getting a gist that driving a truck is, you're alone for a lot of time, so it's important what you focus your mind to. When I'm driving, I'm really relaxed. I love driving. Put that cruise control on, helps. Now, when you're going through the big city, you don't want to do that when it's inclement weather, there's ice, rain, or snow. Don't be doing that. Even sometimes heavy wind. You want to be really, really cautious. Point of it, we've been on here quite a while, and I hope you guys find it very informative. But basically, you want to be safe as much as you can. You want to have fun. You want to build memories. Talking about memories, take pictures, okay? Take video when it's safe to do so, okay? And don't be messing with the phone on your hands. It's a huge fine. I think it could be a $3,000 to $10,000 fine to your company if they're messaging you on your phone or message you when they know you're driving, okay? So use that to your advantage. If you have to, when people text you, you can have predetermined messages, reply messages. Put, hey, I'm a truck driver and I'm driving, and I'm not able to answer your call or your text message at this time. When I stop driving and it's safe to do so, I will be happily able to reply back at that time, okay? So use it in your favor, sometimes when you're on the phone and you have a Bluetooth like what I got, I kind of quick, no affiliation, but I like using the Blue Parrot. It works pretty well for me, very sturdy. I've initially started with the Blue Parrot, then I tried other brands. There was another good one, really, really good. It was called the Blue Tiger, and it was very durable. What sold me onto that Bluetooth headset is the guy took it and twisted it and put it, and it went back into place. I was like, what? Because that's initially what turned me off about the Blue Parrot. I had a recent new one, and I've already gone through a few of them. So they only have so much life. So you want to invest in quality, might give you a little bit more life. This one, honestly, once again, it's the Blue Parrot. I think it's the 450. I've already had it for at least 3 years now, maybe going on 4. And I haven't really had any issues. It works. It does what it needs to do. You want to try to protect the microphone. That up and down on some of these could wear out the inside connection, or the battery goes bad and it's replaceable. There's videos for that. But invest in quality. Don't be getting this cheap shit stuff that you put in your ear and it's real comfortable for you, but guess what? The person you're talking to can't hear you. It sounds like you're in a metal tube can or something. So this with the boom mic and that sponge on the mic there, okay, it absorbs some of the wind to not filter. It'll filter it so it doesn't go through your phone call. Not all the time, but for the most part. And it's a clearer conversation, and it has noise cancellation. So noise of driving the truck. Okay, I don't know if you guys have been hearing a lot of noise or not. I've been trying to raise my voice. So that's important when you're taking videos, because if you talk too low, people are not going to hear you. They're going to lose the flow of the conversation. And even though what you're saying is probably really important and people need to know and hear it, they're not going to listen to you, and they're going to swipe left, up and down and go to the next video. So make sure you're loud and clear, and If it sounds confusing, take a step back, dial it back, rewind it, and explain it another way. This way people can grasp the meaning of what you're trying to say. Do you hear the words that coming out of my mouth? The famous line from Rush Hour with Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan. I like that. Anyway, guys, I really didn't want to make it too long. I hope there was a lot of points here that reference to. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. You might even want to download this video and you can save it on your YouTube. So if you have to, you can go back to it, okay? And again, share, like, and subscribe. I want you guys to be safe if you're in your new truck driving career. Take your time, man. You know, the money ain't gonna be there in the beginning. Don't let them lie to you and, oh, you're gonna be making all this money. In the beginning, it's not, because you're so focused on taking your time and learning and doing things right that you're not a speed demon and making those wheels. So absorb what you learned, okay? Make it part of your daily routine if it's something that needs to be, okay? Safety, there's no shortcuts in safety, man. And slowing your roll is the first step to kind of safety. And talking about it and watching videos, a lot of companies really promote that, because at the end of the line, at the end of the day, is accidents cost them money, lawsuit cases, injuries, doctors, treatment, settlements, lawsuits, fines, all kinds of stuff. So they definitely want to stay away from that, okay? So outside of that, I think we've covered enough. Guys, please put some comments on there. Let me know what you think of this video. How's it sound? Do you understand me? Do I speak too fast? Because I'm originally from the Northeast, and, you know, forget about it. Okay? So, guys, just be safe. You know, try to have two hands on the steering wheel when you're driving through inclement weather, high winds, that kind of stuff, because you can react. And you never know when you're going to have a blowout. The worst type of blowout is a steer axle, and it's happened to me. And it's pretty scary, and I was able to react the right way. Fortunately, I was on a level ground, and I was doing 70, 75, and that's part of Texas, which is legal. So I handled it right. And last thing I want to say, though, is I was able to pull the trolley brake on my trailer, which pulled the front of the truck up, kind of. So it stopped allowing weight on that blown tire and rim. So I was able to finally coast using the Jake brakes a little bit and pulling that one, you know. So a combination. So just be safe. Try to be prepared. You're never really going to be prepared. There's going to be maybe some instances. You're going to see some amazing, beautiful things, and then you're going to see some amazing, not so beautiful things that's going to shock you. Okay? So please be as safe as you can. Take your time. Do everything you can. Do your pre-trips. And every once in a while, take your truck to the truck stop, and they offer sometimes mid-trip inspections for free. And just prepare. Get another set of eyes, another set of hands on your truck and trailer. Now, if you're with a company that does a lot of dropping hooks, man, you can't afford to be lazy there. Okay, very, very important to focus on that trailer, because you have no history. You don't know what's currently going on with that trailer. It could be minor or it could be major, and you got to play detective and figure out. So, guys, God bless. Be safe. Have a DOT-free day. It means don't be any interactions with the Department of Transportation agents out there. And just be careful and make sure you scale your load. That's the number one thing you could do if you want to stay out of the conversation with a DOT officer. Okay, because they'll pull you in for that. I really enjoyed it. I'm trying to grow this channel, so it means a lot to me if you do like, share, and subscribe, and post some comments. Guys, outside of that, be safe. Love you guys. Make the money.